Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Wildside of Corrections. Today we're going to be doing something different. We're going to talk about the wild side of corrections. I'm your host, and I've been working in the field for 9 years. I'm not certain why I decided to become a correctional officer. I think it was a calling. It was one of those things where it wasn't really a job, it was more of a lifestyle. It took up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There were times when I went home and I didn't even shower because I showered at the facility. I would go straight from work to my parents' house, eat dinner, sleep, wake up, go back to work. I worked in 2 different high-level security facilities in Pennsylvania. I've seen some things that have really made me question humanity, but also showed me the best of humanity. I've worked with some great people, formed great relationships with other officers, inmates, even administrators. But for the most part, there's a lot of things that don't get talked about when it comes to working in corrections. One of the biggest things is when inmates take their own lives. I've seen a number of inmates try to hang themselves. I've seen an inmate successfully slit both wrists and then hang himself. And there's nothing more disturbing than actually getting the call to come and help and responding to an unknown scenario in a cell. When you walk into that scene, you have to stay calm. You have to remain professional. You can't show the inmates or the other officers or the other staff members that you're disgusted by what you're seeing. Another thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the calculated use of force. In movies, you see police officers and even correctional officers wrestle somebody to the ground. And it's like, yeah, that's real life. But what's not shown is after that struggle, when you get that inmate back in his cell, if he is self-harming, we are now forced to intervene in a calculated way. Sometimes you have to sit there and watch him for hours to make sure that he doesn't hurt himself. Sometimes things stay calm, but if something does happen, if something goes wrong, you need to be able to articulate exactly what happened, step by step, so that no one questions your integrity or the actions that you took. There's a lot of times when you hear about inmates having bed bugs and you laugh. You think to yourself, wow, that's ridiculous. Guess what? It happens. It's actually really disgusting because these guys will bring them in on themselves. So we had this one group come in with brand new infected inmate. He came in and within 24 hours, half the housing unit had bed bugs. What the new inmates do is they bring the bed bugs in on themselves. They'll have them in their clothing. They'll have them in the shoes that they're wearing. They'll have them in the socks that they're wearing. They're literally infested head to toe, and they'll bring them into the facility. Once they're in the facility, they crawl all over the bed. They crawl all over the furniture. It's disgusting. We had to strip the entire unit, spray the unit, put new furniture in there, put new mattresses on the beds, and then we did a follow-up to make sure that there were no bed bugs, and then we brought the unit back up. Now here's the craziest thing. We had an old Italian inmate. He was in his 60s. He had ties to the mafia. Let's just say that. And he was complaining about still being itchy. Now keep in mind, we had already sprayed the unit. We had already treated it. And he's sitting there telling me that he's still itching. As he is telling me this, I begin to become itchy. I said, listen, I am a certified bedbug expert from my previous job. I want you to place cups of water around your bed. And if after 24 hours report back to me if you see any bugs floating in the water. Because bedbugs, they're arachnids. Okay? They're not insects. And if you look at arachnids, they have exoskeletons, right? And the reason why this works is because when they crawl across the water, their exoskeleton actually pulls in the water. And if you look closely enough in the morning, you can actually see the bedbugs drowned in the cups of water. It's not the most pleasant thing to look at, but it lets you know if there's still a source in the room. Well, wouldn't you know it, 24 hours later, this inmate finds me. He says, "Thank you for the advice yesterday. You were absolutely right. Thank you for helping to calm me down. I went to medical and they told me, certified bedbug expert is not a thing. It sounds like the officer was trying to calm you down to help you relax and feel safe in your cell again. And wouldn't you know it, it worked. It takes a special kind of person to work in this field. If you're easily stressed out or you don't like working with people, then this job is not for you. I just want to take a moment to say thank you for watching this video. Until next time, stay safe and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!